Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending now. Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternating. We're discovering good movies one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Rob Jarasinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer, Carrie Jarasinski. And joining us via Zoom, our critic in residence, Tim Brayton. It's been a spell. Again.
It has. I missed you. I missed your face.
You all managed.
Your floofy hair.
Oh, yeah. The hair is extra floofy. But yeah, I got back from filming segment 1 of Hauntology, which I will be covering on a future amateur hour. I have let those episodes go just with how busy things have been. But now that we've completed a segment of the film, I feel like I need to get back into it. People want to know how that segment went, how the filmmaking process is going. But for this audience, I will share that things exceeded expectations for wherever they were.
Okay.
Whether they were low or high.
One of the vaguest terms, yeah.
Yes, it went well. Tim,
okay.
You've been on set much, like within whether independent or non-independent capacity?
Not recently, but I've been on a few.
Oh man, it's magical. It is a lot of fun, and especially with professionals who know what they're doing, they just get right to work. There's no messing around.
Even just like being on not even on a student set, because I didn't go on any of our student sets, just being sort of in the room while the students are like mucking around with equipment and like teaching them how to set it up, which is what I was doing last semester. It is such a vibe. And I miss sets a lot, so I'm really glad you got to have that opportunity.
I do, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm having a little bit of the after-post kind of high of that, like coming back down to a grounded real world of needing to get back to my day job and family, kids, wife.
Gross.
By the way, happy anniversary, Carrie. Wedding anniversary
side
today.
note, that's Tim. When I said we had
spending it with me.
exciting news to share, Rob, I was like, we have exciting news to share. Episode starts. I thought the exciting news was going to be our anniversary. And of course, that is not what you shared.
No, in fact, I was we were talking about anniversary gifts, which Carrie probably hasn't thought of one. Mine was going to be
not divorcing your ass. Seems
not
like
divorcing.
The most generous gift she could possibly.
I was going
give you at
to
this moment.
surprise her with like a credit in the film, like
my god.
Hey, Carrie, do you want to see some early footage? And then in there would be like a credit for Carrie.
Do you feel like that would really lock me in?
That's That's a gift of a lifetime.
Which year is this?
How long would you guess based on our dynamic it's been, Tim? Just to see if you can get ballpark.
Based on your eldest daughter's age.
Yes.
I'm going to guess it's 12.
That is.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's accurate.
Good math.
That is good math. Yeah, we had a very...
Is 12 a special? I think by after 10, they no longer have like special things every year, correct?
No, we still have something special. I think this year it might be cloth or some sort of a swath of cloth.
See, whenever you do this, there's someone who knows, and they're yelling at their radio or in an airport with their headphones on.
Silk. Exactly.
Thank you, Tim.
A swath of cloth.
That actually sounds nice. We should get some silk sheets for tonight.
Maybe
I think there's a difference between silk and cloth, Carrie.
That is possibly fair, but it was close. It was close.
A thing of dish towels is cloth.
This is true. And Tim, what we will reveal to you right now is we were in the car on the way here, and both of us, I would say Rob is a better gift giver than I am. I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
I provide the gift of service and care, and you're more physical, tangible gifts.
And as a result, I give Carrie the things that her love language speaks, and Carrie does her self-love language gift for me. But you've gotten better over the years. I feel like you've cracked the code a bit.
Wait, what do you mean? So give me an example.
So you give the gifts to me that you would like for yourself.
Oh.
And I give gifts.
Do I do that?
I give the type of gift.
So Rob, you try to put yourself in Carrie's mental space, and Carrie, you try to force Rob to be your kind of person.
Exactly. Well said.
I don't think that.
So Carrie gets 2 presents.
Yes.
So, Rob, you sound like a chump right now to me.
I want to know, when have I done that? Give me one example of when I've given you a gift that I wanted for myself.
Not that you've wanted for yourself, but it in your headspace of what I think I would want if I was you. That's what you try to do.
I give you one
I
example.
don't know. You're putting me on the spot.
You're nervous now. Okay.
I'm nervous.
I'll tell you what I got you.
Okay.
So
I
Tim,
thought you were gonna we were gonna do like you're gonna give me a clue.
Okay. I'll give you a clue. So Tim, this is what I'm telling Rob this year. What I'm gonna do is tell him one clue and see if he can get to what we're doing. Rob claims not to like physical things, but he does like experience, he says. So I said, today, Rob, after this podcast airs, I am going to give you the gift of showing you that I hear you. Mm-hmm. And that's the clue.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the hear like in quotations?
No,
Am
it's
I
like
going to an
physically.
audiologist to get a hearing aid?
It's physically I hear. So I would say.
What did you download the podcasts and record them to CD and put them in a nice jewel case?
No, I did not do that. And maybe you'll hate this idea. I'm just going to tell you guys what I got you. And if you hate the idea.
Rob is now finding out live on the podcast what you got him?
Yes, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so
this is a big play.
if you hear
I feel tense. My whole body just cringed.
the things that I enjoy, like the thing that I would want,
Yes.
is quality time with.
Don't tell me.
Oh,
because what if it's not that?
well, that's wait. Have
It's
you
not
already?
that.
Have you
I'm
actually
clear.
already purchased or no? You haven't because you're like it's kind of whenever we want to go. So you
Yeah.
have not done anything.
So I'll tell you what it is, and you tell me if this strikes at Rob as I think it will. Okay.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do for Tim in a direct message to Tim, just so that
Okay.
all of our cards are on the table.
Yep.
I'm going to write Tim what I would like.
Okay.
So that's fair.
Shoot.
And then that way
Okay.
it's
This is a gamble.
I feel like your marriage hangs on the balance of me not lying about what Rob is about to text me.
It is. It's actually true. It does. This is a lot of pressure because you can imagine there are a million things I could have gotten you.
boom.
There's a million
This
things
is all I
could have
want
gotten you.
for anything. This
Okay.
is my dream day.
Okay.
I've just shared it with Tim.
Okay.
Okay.
And after 12 years, I think I know you well enough. I think you're self-involved enough.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things sort of play into my mentality for this gift. After this podcast airs, I am going to take you on an adventure around the Madison area,
Okay.
and we're going to stop at different places,
Okay.
and there's going to be both experiences and gifts
Mm-hmm.
that we will procure that I've heard you say,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I wish I had that, or this will reduce the amount of annoyance that I feel for you by not having this thing. And so I'm going to solve for...
We're going to go donate stuff to like donate some of the stuff that we have around the house.
That's not one of them.
Okay.
But there's a series of 5 things we're going to do.
5 stops. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
there's 5
Okay.
stops. So as an example,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you that I've heard your complaints, and we're going to go solve them
Okay.
together.
I like it.
Do you want to know one?
Okay.
I would like to know all of them. Yes.
Okay, the first stop, Rob. We're going to a certain store, and I will let you pick out the wall key hanger of your choice.
Oh, I was going to guess key hanger. It's not my guess to Tim, but when you started explaining a little
Yeah.
bit more about it, is yes, Carrie has yet and has promised to start putting keys in the same place, and has yet to do that over the course of 12 years.
Yeah,
So-
I haven't ever.
Okay.
Never once. So
now
that's what
here's
you're gonna get.
here's the real question. We can get the thing.
Okay.
Getting the thing's easy.
I might not put them on there still,
Okay,
but I want
that's
you
what
to
I
know
was
that
gonna
I'm.
ask.
But I want you to know again, going back to the theme, Rob. I hear you.
I think what we need to do is we need to put it in the doorway, like right when we need to figure out
Eye
where your
level.
eye line is.
Yeah, it's about
and like as you
5'3".
open the door, it needs to just be right in front of your face.
Right in my face. Yeah.
And key here.
But you get
Carrie.
to pick it. You get to pick it out, and
Okay.
I'm
I like
showing
it.
you.
That's a great gift.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Do you want to tell me what you got me?
Yeah, let me drop it into the
Wait,
chat.
was I right, or were you right about what
No.
I got you?
Okay, so I'll share.
What did you think
I
got
thought-
you?
Go ahead, Tim,
Can
please.
Yes, Tim,
can
you
I do
share.
the newlywed game show host type thing and reveal?
Yes, I would love that.
What Rob wanted for your anniversary was so much simpler and so much less multi-stepped. But I think it's in the spirit of the same thing. So I'm going to assume that this is a match. Rob would like quality time with you, Carrie. Going to dinner, watching a movie or show, and going to the spa.
Oh,
That would be nice.
going to the spa. That's a bridge too far, Rob.
Is there a spa in Madison?
Oh,
This
yes.
came up in conversation.
I've never
yesterday.
been, but Rob has many times.
Yeah,
so.
there's a new in Madison. There is Haven Spa. There is also like some really challenging Indian word that I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
You know,
Let us not interrogate that in case it turns out to be a very straightforward Indian.
I agree with that statement as well. So I think my gift
a new
is
spa
better.
called Karma.
Karma. Mine is better than that gift.
Oh.
I just sent Tim what I got. From him.
Oh.
Is it good,
Oh,
Tim?
Rob, you're so much better at this than Carrie is.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you are such a good gift
Yeah, I
giver.
will say it's not so much me as that Facebook
You're so
really knows
they
me.
know you, but honestly, you're also very, very thoughtful. I would say
This
so,
is something I want.
Oh, Carrie, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
Really?
You
So my
are.
clue
Okay,
to you.
give me a clue. Give
My
me a
clue
clue.
to you, you'll never get it.
Oh, I
'Cause
will.
It's just one of those things. It's just like, who would think of this?
Yeah.
I'll just say X marks the spot. How about that?
Holy moly, we're going to the.
We're going to Petra.
We're going to Petra.
We're going to Petra.
We're going to Petra.
It's
I get to.
happening.
Do I get to be in the library and do I get to take the little metal thing and then like slam it down on the ground and then crawl into a little cave and there's going to be dead skeletons down there?
Let me just confer with Tim here. Tim, she's not wrong, right?
I know what it is.
She's not
I know what
wrong,
it
wrong.
is.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I know what it is. It's a Last Crusade escape room.
That would be pretty sweet.
That would be fucking awesome.
That would be
but I don't
awesome.
believe they make those.
Yeah. If that existed, we would be there. But you're also not
on-
wrong.
So it has something to do with the Last Crusade.
Yeah. You'll never, I mean, I just don't think that you would think that this is a thing. So.
Okay.
I would have not thought that this was the thing.
And
But it
I'm
makes
gonna-
sense that it is, right, Tim? Now that you know about it.
And now that I know about it, it's like, well, of course this is a thing.
You can tell me because it isn't coming on time. Is it a jewelry with an X?
Okay, yeah, because I think our audience members would be upset and we'll probably forget
we
to share
can
it.
tell.
with-
Yeah.
I was going to say we shouldn't, but we will forget to share on
We
later.
will.
Yes, so
forget.
here's what you are getting, Karen.
Oh my gosh,
and this
I'm
is
so
why your
excited.
sister was so excited for you. Now, the quality, I have no idea because it is coming from China,
Okay.
which I found out after the fact.
Yeah.
It was a very good deal, we'll just
Okay.
say, too.
Okay.
Which, you're thrifty.
I
so
love-
that
I love
plays
deals.
into it. You are getting a handmade, they say, replica of the Dr. Jones diary.
Holy shit.
Yeah, page for page.
Holy shit.
Every single page in there with the maps and the
Is it going to have the
penitent man
The penitent
can-
man.
yeah, oh, yeah.
But is it also going to have? I'm crying.
It's
a little bit.
leather
I'm starting
bound.
to cry. I'm so
It's-
excited.
it
oh
is
my
a
gosh.
perfect replica.
I never
handmade
knew
replica.
I wanted that in my
Right.
whole life.
Yes.
But I do. I do want that. Is it going to have you know, in the beginning when he starts.
Oh, you are tearing up.
I know. I'm really excited about this gift.
Yeah.
It's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Gosh, you know, I get like upset by thoughtfulness. Is it going to have where, you know, in the beginning where the dad is like sketching
The sketches are there.
oh gosh.
Yeah, you're going to get like the half gravestone,
The etchings.
the etchings. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So I just hope it's of quality. I will report back when we get this because it was like very suspect, the price on this, the price point.
$34.99.
How did you know that?
$2.50.
It was just a guess. That's
No,
every.
Carrie got the right price,
wow.
like on the dot.
Is I am an excellent
It just
price
seems
guesser.
for someone like, again, if you're hand replicating something,
Yeah.
like it just seems like
Even if it's printed and even if Sean Connery didn't etch it himself, I'll still really, really like the sentiment of it.
yes. When it popped up for me as like, hey, Facebook thinks you might like this, I was like, yeah, I do.
How does it know?
I have no idea.
Probably because we talk about it really closely to our computer a lot, and it is
It
aware.
just picks up on it.
So, this is the best day of my life. I'm very, very excited about all of this. Tim, you also have an anniversary that's coming up. What are you going to do, or have you started to think about what you're going to do?
Our anniversary happened.
Oh,
Oh,
We
happy
had it.
happy anniversary.
I thought it was
Thank
early
you.
September for some reason.
No, it was the Thursday before Labor Day in 2019, which I believe is August 29th.
Okay, I was close.
But to make life easy on ourselves, we just call it Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
So we had fancy dinner at the place we go for fancy dinners.
Which place? McDonald's?
Sardine in Madison.
Sardine. Okay. And did it live up to your standards?
It was a satisfying meal, yes. I got the salmon and he got the pork medallions.
Aw.
We started each with an octopus tentacle that had been grilled.
That sounds fresh. That sounds like it's really fresh
It
and
was
romantic.
And oysters. We had oysters.
For those who've seen
I had the West Coast oysters. He had the East Coast oysters.
for those who've seen the latest season of The Boys, that's just what's popping in my mind now. Yeah, imagine if Aquaman had to consume one of their friends.
Well, was it like Old Boy?
Old Boy? Oh yes, it's like Old Boy, except imagine if Aquaman was forced to consume that. That's the tension that's happening
sad.
in that
that's
scene.
sad.
That's pretty dark.
Sorry, spoiler.
But also, octopus is real tasty, and I don't give a shit.
That is fair. We will try that. We were looking for some new restaurants, so
we're going to a tried and true favorite. It's the Merchant. For those who are familiar with the Madison area, great food.
Love it.
Speaking of celebrations, we're celebrating Patreon Oscar holder Carl Beasley with this episode. Carl got to pick everything, the works, but specifically the episode topic, which is top 5 cliffhangers, which is interesting because I should also then note that by the pure nature of it being a cliffhanger and us talking about the endings, this is going to be a spoiler-filled.
We're going to be spoiling some stuff,
yes.
Including on my list at least movies that I know neither one of you have seen. So I apologize.
Whoa, okay. I will say it's not super common to find a movie that has a cliffhanger unless it has intentions and known intentions. Well, I think it's more common now because I think sequels are set up for films. But I think back in the day, it wasn't like a surefire thing unless it was previously greenlit. So a cliffhanger is like, it's an unusual phenomenon. Is that right, Tim? Like, I don't know. Is that a recent thing? Or I had trouble finding more than like a half dozen movies with cliffhangers as an example.
It is definitely so cliffhanger can mean, I think, a couple different things. It can mean literally the plot stops right now and you're going to have to come back next time to see like Quiet Place 2, for example, which literally nothing has been resolved at the end of that scene. So that's a sort of very classic cliffhanger. It can be we're leaving things open-ended. There's clearly going to be more to the story, but we just told you a story that's more or less coherent. So like at the end of Iron Man 1, when Tony Stark is about to give some flim-flammy press conference about, how Iron Man is or whatever, and he just stops cold and says, "No, I am Iron Man." Cut to credits. We've heard a story. There's no like, oh my God, who is where the villain escaped, but like we clearly know that that's hooking us into the next thing. Both of those I think are fairly new developments, although I think the sort of open-ended Iron Man-esque ending is older.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah. The Quiet Place 2 phenomenon to me is having them it's bankable. Like they have the foresight to know we're making a third no matter what happens. Let's go ahead and set this thing up. There have been failures though in that regard as well too, where the assumption was that we would be like an open-ended in anticipation that there could be a sequel, and that never came.
100%. No, there's plenty of examples of that.
And then there's the third, which I loved that people went on this down this rabbit hole on the site in the comments where. Literally movies that have cliffs where people are hanging.
I thought about that.
I mean, the
awesome.
Image that I put up was from the Sylvester Stallone action thriller Cliffhanger, largely because the shot of your face on Sylvester Stallone's body amused me profoundly.
It just blends right in. You can barely tell the difference.
Appreciated that. I feel like I've been on some real hard bodies over the years, and I
wanted to celebrate you coming back to us by giving you a very cut pecs.
It was great. It was truly, and also in honor of Samaritan, which I heard was just awful. But I'm still looking forward to seeing Sylvester Stallone in that as well too.
Yes.
But we're not only just celebrating Carl's episode, we also are going to squeeze in a worth mentioning that Carl had for Carrie and I, and we just caught it last night, called Speech and Debate.
Speech and Debate. I want to go into this before we start talking about Speech and Debate to say, Carl, we value you. We think that you are wonderful and we appreciate you before we start talking about this movie. So,
and I want to point out that Carl only asked you to watch one movie that you transparently don't like, as opposed to 4 Billy Jacks.
That is, again,
not that I'm holding a grudge.
No grudge.
About the
No
Billy
grudge.
Jacks.
Oh, no. I've prioritized my how much I like people, and Carl's very high at the list, even though this maybe wasn't my favorite movie of all time. But we'll get there. And I think part of the reason, I'm going to lead in, part of the problem that I had with this movie is I had already made the mistake of writing the story that I wanted it to be before it started. So like I read the synopsis and I was all in. So basically it's a couple kids that are in school, are frustrated by their parents, teachers, everybody's kind of telling them what to do. And there's some absurdities going on with like the school board and choices that they're making that are like very anti-gay and like all of these different things. And these kids decide that they're going to sort of like rise up and come together to bring back the speech and debate club and take on the world. Like is basically the premise. So I read that and I'm like, holy smokes, this is going to be amazing. It's totally going to be about, you know, again, these like ragtag group of kids that come together that have these montages of like, they're not great speech and debaters, but they're going to like get awesome. And then they're going to take down the whole school through their amazing debate skills that they get.
What in your mind was the mechanism by which taking down the school through having awesome speech and debate skills?
It's going to be like, hey, I'm going to take on the principal who's doing all these things and we're going to debate each other by the end. And
why would the principal agree to such a foolish proposition?
You never know. You never know.
Okay.
And in the beginning,
Okay.
you even see the administration saying ridiculous and stupid things. So you think that they're going to like come up and they're going to be awesome. And I don't know, that it's going to be everyone's cheering at the end because the students put on this amazing performance and are wonderful. And so it ends up not being the story that I had written in my mind. I think the other part is, I don't think you would have, Tim, because you were not in school, or a school that had a speech and debate team, but I was on the speech team. So I also came in.
Hey, what event did you do?
I was, okay, what did I do?
Well, it was clearly not anything extemporaneous.
I was just going to say, I think it was extemporaneous. I think I may have done a little bit of extemporaneous.
Did you get a C?
I didn't do well there, but I did do a reenactment of The Diary of Anne Frank with a guy that I had the crush on.
Oh, you both did it? Well, then it would have been
What was
Group
that?
jerk.
Dramatic
interpretation.
Yeah.
Group. Must
So
have been
I was
group or-
Anne,
yeah.
and he was the guy.
D&I, as they call it.
D&I.
Yeah, in the biz.
He and I were into a little D&I, and I remember we had to hold hands at the end. We had to join hands, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like swoon. He ended up being a weirdo as an adult. But again, I thought like maybe I would connect with it a little bit more. But what I will say is it ended up focusing more again on these quirky group of 3 kids. Rob, you can jump in here a little bit too, but jumps in, and it's more of like their individual stories, and it ends up
One's
being,
a kid who just moved to town who's gay, and it's a small town, so they don't have a GSA or a gay straight alliance.
so they're
group.
trying to get that, but they don't really do it through
But
speech and
then
debate.
there's another kid who's like very introverted and doesn't have any friends, but is an amazing journalist and writer and wants to do like hard-hitting journalism. And then there's a third who's like a free spirit,
but she's into more like theater than anything
and
else.
They're
And
both
so,
they're both hitting brick walls, so they decide to start the speech and debate team.
But they don't focus much on the speech and debate. So I'd say like the individual stories I think were a little less connected than I thought they would be.
I think it would have been fun to have it be more like The Great Debaters, where you see that. I think you've talked about this, the journey of them going from like ragtag to like now they're competing against the best. And
Yes,
like
that's what I thought it was going to
succeed,
be.
And it has nothing. It's just kind of a bit of a free for all.
Yeah.
This is a film that I would have enjoyed back in the 90s when I was in high school more. Like I definitely like these characters. And they were fun, like especially I like the gal who kind of is the dramatic interpretation person. She's just having so much fun
with the role,
yeah, with the role. The other 2 leads are a little stiff, and then you were peppered in Kimberly Paisley, Williams Paisley is in here, Skylar Astin, Janine Garofalo. You have Cal Penn is in this, but they're all side characters. It just felt like a bit of a hodgepodge. This is directed by Dan Harris, who's written a couple of bigger things, but this is their directorial debut and the only directing that they've done. I feel like the screenplay was pretty weak too, so this is like combo first director, weak screenplay. It looks nice it looks like a movie. It's just kind of like the story just doesn't make sense. The arc doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So while we wanted to love it, I don't think we disliked it. While we wanted to love it and have it be all of these magical things, I think it was one that I probably wouldn't recommend.
It's like Footloose, but speech and debate, but doesn't make
without
any
the speech and debate.
Without the speech and debate.
That's it. So thank you, Carl.
I'd love to know from Carl. I'd like to know. You know what we should start to do is like reach out to folks and like I'd like to understand. Because this is a fairly recent movie. This is 2017.
I can tell this comes from a good place too, though.
So I don't know how. I would welcome knowing how you stumbled upon this. What were your thoughts in recommending it? I'm still this is a fine movie. Like
yeah,
it
just
goes
okay.
down smooth. Like there isn't a whole lot to it. So like I didn't dislike it. Just I'd be interested to know like we should do that going forward for assignments.
I'll check in with Carl.
Understand what it was. But
that's right. So yeah, that was Speech and Debate from 2017.
All right, Carrie, are you ready to jump into a little cliffhangers?
I don't know, because here's my first question. What's the difference between a cliffhanger and an ambiguous ending or an unresolved ending? Is it the same?
Tim covered that all of those, at least. Go ahead, Kim.
I have put a great deal of thought into individual cases, but I don't know if I have a blanket rule. I will say this. I think if a story ends and you feel at the end of it, I have just seen a complete narrative. I feel satisfied by it. And I'm aware that this story is going to keep going on after I've stepped away from it. That is an open end.
Okay.
If I am being encouraged to want to see the further adventures, it is a cliffhanger. So for example. Because I thought about one. It's going to be. I don't want to say it out loud in case it's on.
It's going to be on my list.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
I'll get to it. But how did you draw that distinction, Carrie?
I don't even know. I think mine might be a hodgepodge of both. And then I started thinking to myself, like, if it's a cliffhanger, does it have to eventually have a sequel?
That's one that has, I think, a specific. I have a curious example of that on mine.
I wanted to be real tough at first and say, if a sequel was made after, I'm not going to include it. But then I was really left with slim pickings.
Like 2 examples.
Yeah, so I just decided to allow that to happen.
Okay.
But there are, like I was saying, like I think there are very few movies that end on a cliffhanger, and that don't have sequels. I think that's a very small list.
None of mine do.
Don't have sequels?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because I think I was trying to be like, okay, this really left me on a cliffhanger. I don't know. I can imagine.
You got really excited about some in the car as you were preparing.
I know. I remembered. At first, I was like, I've never seen any cliffhanger in my entire life. And then I started to think about it a little more, and I had. And then I also realized, I think we've talked about this before. I don't like open endings. Like I want it boxed up, packaged, tied with a bow, and handed to me. I don't like to have to be like, what if? What could be? I really want to know. So I also loved this list, but also found it frustrating as well because I do want to know the answers to all of these movies on my list.
All right. Well, let's start with your number 5.
Are you ready?
I think so.
This is the one that I hate the most. This is my number 5. This is the one that I found the most enraging.
I'm always so excited when we start your list in that kind of mental space.
I'm coming in with rage. I'm coming in hot. I despise this movie for lots of different reasons. You love this one, Tim. We've talked about it before years ago, but I'm bringing it back. Never thought I would have to. This is the 2005 story with the guy. Gosh, what's his name? The guy that's kind of bald. He's a Cubs fan.
Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
You were blanking on Bill Murray's name?
Bill Murray. His name. This is Broken Flowers.
So I'm just curious because are these your favorite cliffhanger endings?
No.
So okay.
Well, I mean, they're cliffhangers.
Are they just movies with cliffhangers?
They're movies with cliffhangers.
And there are 5 of them?
And there's 5 of them.
Okay.
And
these were the only 5 you could come up with.
Well, I have other ones. I almost put the Blue Lagoon on here, but I've already talked about it recently. Do you die at the end? I don't know.
Because you specifically don't like this movie.
I know.
Because of the ending. So it's not your...
It means it's a good cliffhanger.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes a cliffhanger can leave you enraged and wanting to throw things at your TV, like this one did, where essentially this story is about Bill Murray. His name Don. I think his name is Don.
What were you doing in the car for 2 hours when you were preparing?
I was thinking about how much I didn't like.
You didn't know Bill Murray's name.
Yeah,
you don't know what character he plays.
No.
Okay.
He's the main character. I think his name is Don, and he's sort of in like a series of bad relationships. So then he runs around and he is trying to go back and try and figure out where his son is. Right.
He finds out he may have a son, and he's trying to figure out which woman he had.
Who would be the mother?
Who's the mother?
Who's the mother? Yeah. I don't care. I don't care who the mother is. Nobody cares. But Bill Murray cares. And so he keeps driving around looking for potentially, and then he zeroes in on a guy that he thinks might be his son. Cut to the end of this movie. It goes black. Do we find out if this is his son or not? Spoiler alert.
It's so funny.
The answer is no. We don't find it out.
I don't think of this as a cliffhanger.
Oh, it's a cliffhanger.
Nor do I.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know who's Don's son? Do you know?
It would not cross my mind to ever expect that we will find out.
I know. You said that
universe.
Years ago when I was enraged by this movie then, and it's like, I do need to know.
Can I explain to you
what
a cliffhanger would be for this film?
Yeah.
Someone knocks on Bill Murray's door. You don't see who it is. Bill Murray opens the door. It's on Bill Murray. Cut to black.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what happened.
Could be a cliffhanger.
He's in his car, and there's this kind of guy walking around who's younger, might be his son. We're about to find out, and then it fades to black, and you're like, well, I guess I'll never know. Because he never talks to him about it to be like, am I your father? Basically.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
I respect that you have decided that cliffhanger means ending that makes you angry. And we'll go with that as the definition for your list.
I think.
And it'll be one of those episodes where Rob and I have a list, then you have some list from a different episode that got spliced in accidentally.
You'll see. I mean, everybody's nodding their head in agreement with you right now, for sure, that's listening. But
it's an ambiguous
yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
It is both ambiguous and open without being a cliffhanger in my mind.
Come on. Move on. Everybody's agreeing with me.
There was a 0% chance of Broken Flowers 2 existing.
I guess the question you ask yourself with all these is, oh my gosh.
What happened
What
next?
happens next?
Yeah.
That's on your mind with Broken Flowers?
Yeah.
Huh.
I wanted to be like, are they going to come together? Is he going to have to start supporting him financially? What if this guy wants to go back to school? Who knows?
Oh my gosh.
And now we'll never know because there's not a Broken Flowers 2. So
and if that had been the plot of Broken Flowers 2, it would have been awful. So I think we're all lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair. Not on your list.
Nope.
No.
Not even considered.
All right, Tim, what's your number 5? I think it's on mine.
Maybe. So this is... I realized only after I assembled my list that I actually built it in reverse chronological order.
Oh.
So this is my newest film here in I guess so I built it in chronological order, I guess. I don't know. This is my newest film. They only get older. They get older the further back you go. It is an example very clearly of we know we're getting another film. So we are going to, in our last moments, plant a seed to grab you and pull you into the next film. And I'm particularly impressed with this cliffhanger for a sort of backwards reason. Like Carrie and Broken Flowers, I don't like this movie. I think it is not very good. But when I saw it in 2006 and that cliffhanger happened, I was like, holy shit, I'm so excited for the next one. And so that's the sign of a good cliffhanger. Like, it overcame the fact that I had just been bored for 2 full hours. And I was now all raring to go for the third film, which is going to be even longer than 2 hours. And what happens in this cliffhanger, and again, we're spoiling.
Yeah, we're spoiling.
So sorry.
I'm going to see if I can get there.
I'm about to spoil the ending, everybody, for 2006's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, where there's been an adventure, all sorts of shenanigans have happened, they've resolved. But Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow is told that he's going to have an ally if he's going to sort of resolve the next level of shenanigans. And so he goes to this like magical hut owned by a magical sea witch, and who should come down the steps of her magical hut to give a little wink to the camera right before the movie ends than Jeffrey Rush, who we thought died in the first one. And at this point in the second one, I am thinking to myself, boy, the problem with this movie is that it didn't have Jeffrey Rush in it. Jeffrey Rush was clearly the secret sauce that made that first movie go. So in comes Jeffrey Rush in the last shot of the movie. And I'm like, holy motherfucking shit, Jeffrey Rush is not dead. He will be back. The special sauce is returned. And I was wrong because I don't really like At World's End either. But it made me super stoked to see it, and that is what the job of a cliffhanger is.
I was so nervous when you said 2006 because the insecurity that I was going to share is like I don't feel like I've really thought through everything, and I feel like y'all are going to bring up ones that I should have on my list. I gave up on Pirates very early after the sequel. Is this the sequel?
This is the second one.
This is the second one? Oh, see, I don't even remember. The first one for me, I think is great. And then I just don't care about anything after the first one.
And I mean, this is literally the only part of any of the remaining films that I liked, but I liked it a lot. And again, it did its job.
So you're saying that the cliffhanger is seeing Jeffrey Rush. That is a cliffhanger.
Why is he not dead? How did he come back? What is he doing? Why does he need to team up with Johnny Depp, who was previously his enemy?
I don't think I've thought about those things or cared much like...
You haven't seen the second one.
I know. But...
She's trying to make us get a little payback on the Broken Flowers.
I'm saying there's a difference between the two in that this one was very expressly telling you, okay, gonna see you in the third movie. Bye, everybody. Click.
All right.
That is not how Broken Flowers sounds.
That's fair. I don't think they could get the funding for the next one. Wasn't very good, but neither here nor there. I think, I don't want to embarrass myself. I might want to cut this later. I don't know if I knew that the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean was Johnny Depp. I'm not sure I knew that. Does everybody know that?
I'm pretty sure that literally everybody knows that.
Yeah, this goes back to
this is kind of like
really,
Hook
really
being
quick
Dustin Hoffman.
to being on set. Like I had a lot of fun talking to people about you, about how you did not realize, because for some reason Tropic Thunder came up, and that you did not know that
was embarrassing.
That Robert Downey Jr. played the black character in blackface. Yeah.
I didn't know
right
that.
until the end when he pulls off his lip, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, that's Robert Downey Jr." Like
the funny thing is I thought I was like a hot take, like I was revealing it to you, because I remember being like, guys, I think this is Robert Downey Jr. when he started peeling his face off. I don't know how you knew earlier.
What do you mean?
It was the centerpiece of the film's advertising campaign.
That's the thing.
And not only that, like you're not clearly listening to the film, because in the opening, it shows Robert Downey Jr. in another role, and we know that he's a method actor, and that he's always in character, and that's the.
But they didn't explicitly like show him getting done up, like with all.
No,
I think they do, don't they?
I don't know. I think he arrived to set.
Maybe that was
I think I just like to suspend my disbelief. That's what happened.
You're just too into the story.
I'm too into the story. That's what's happening.
Well, speaking of being too into the story, my number 5, I'm going to take, I think we live in a world where the challenge with endings in general and cliffhangers is we're in social media, like overload. We know things before they happen. We know what's coming. I think if the secret would have been protected and I could suspend my disbelief and just not know, this would be much higher on my list. But this is the big one, the biggest movie,
the biggest one
of all time,
my number
or
one.
was, and now it flip flops with Avatar, or not flip flops. The series flip flops with Avatar. So I'm going to spoil here Avengers: Infinity War, but it takes my number 5 spot. Again, would be higher if there was like we all knew at the end of Avengers: Infinity War that it's not the end, but we just didn't know how they were going to get to it. The movie ends with Thanos having snapped his fingers, and then certain key members of the Avengers in the world, 50% of the world, turning to dust and ash. Mm-hmm. And how are they? The how was going to be interesting. We knew that they were going to come back just because of we know there's another Spider-Man movie coming. If there was a world in which I could just be naive and not know all of that, this would be one of the biggest moments of all time for me as a Marvel lover. That being said, it still had a huge impact. I wanted to know the how badly enough to go see Endgame, which again is the biggest movie of all time, flip-flopping with. It won't be for long because they're going to re-release Avatar again, and that's going to just dominate the box office for the foreseeable future. So how are you all feeling about Avengers: Infinity War?
I mean, I believe Carrie said it was number 1.
No, it's not. No.
Okay.
I thought it was, but it's not.
This is not a big cliffhanger for you, huh?
I don't think I was like, what's going to happen next? I think I was just like, well, again, we've talked about this before. I was kind of like, there's worse outcomes, Like I was fine with it.
I don't know how, for a movie as big as it is, you can truly be shocked. Like, and again, unless you saw it without anybody else seeing it, and you didn't do the research that Tom Holland's in another Spider-Man, like you're not gonna. It takes a little bit of the punch out of it, for sure. Yeah. But I still was. My jaw was still on the floor, I guess. Like,
sure, but
it's still hard to see those even if you people that you like die or fade away.
Fade away. Even if you didn't know that there were sequels coming, you still would be like, they're not going to kill whoever died.
Mr. Stark. Oh gosh,
they're going to bring back Mr. Stark.
No, Mr. Stark's not dead.
Oh yeah, sure. See, again, I don't even remember.
What? You don't remember Spider-Man? Like. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Right now, ask me 3 people. I'll tell you if they died or stayed alive.
You know that the original Avengers are alive because that was their moment to have to solve everything.
Black Widow gone.
No,
she was there.
She's the original Avenger.
She was there. Yeah. So neither here nor there. Okay, it all blends together.
That's my number 5. I stick with it. Tim, any strong feelings one way or the? Does it qualify as a cliffhanger for you? Number 1?
It's 100%. This was one I knew would show up. Actually, I thought for sure would show up on Carrie's as well. No, I knew this. I mean, this is sort of the quintessential example of a cliffhanger in modern filmmaking.
Sweet. That's all I want to do is make the definition work. Carrie, you and I try to stay healthy, right?
I try to exercise most days. I eat a lot of egg whites and kale until about 4 p.m. And then I'm just chips and dip until bedtime.
Same. And like you, Care, packing all the healthy stuff in meals to try to reach my goals hasn't worked. And, I hate taking vitamins and pills. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, Athletic Greens AG1 has the answer. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to help start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy recovery, focus, and aging. All the things.
But here's the thing. It sounds great, but it also sounds like it tastes kind of healthy.
No, it actually tastes great, not healthy. It has a tropical flavor that makes me think of our upcoming trip to the Caribbean. And it will leave you feeling more alert and clear during the day. Also helps you get your Z's.
I can use all those things, but Rob, you also know I'm a little bit cheap. So how much would something like this set us back?
Care, it's cheap enough even for you.
Whoa!
AG1 is less than $3 a day, so you're investing in your health instead of that cold brew habit.
Okay, all right. Sign me up.
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/emerging. That's EMERGING. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/emerging to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
I will say for me, it was diluted both by what you say, Rob, and that, I know that Spider-Man has a date. I know that, Doctor Strange 2 has a date. I know whatever. It also is diluted when it became clear that they were building to the Infinity Gauntlet arc. There's only one thing I know about the Infinity Gauntlet arc from the comic books, and it's that would happen once Thanos got the Infinity Gauntlet. So I was prepared for that cliffhanger 3 years in advance, just because it's the comics, and it's literally the only thing I know about the storyline.
Yeah. So. No, fair enough. All good points. It continue being true to myself. It holds a special place in my heart. Sure. On to you, Care, with your number 4.
Okay, my number 4. Gosh, I wish this was on your guys' list, but I don't think it will be, even though I think I loved this movie the most of any of us because I'm able to handle dark and upsetting content, as you all know. Mm-hmm. I loved this movie, and I don't know why it got such a bad rap, but neither here nor there. This movie also comes possibly from the Marvel universe. Maybe not. Maybe DC. Maybe it's the DC universe. I think this one comes to us from the DC universe. But this one ends on sort of a note of who's dying? Who died? We don't really know. Did the person escape? Did they murder everybody? Are they bleeding and they're about to die? You're unsure because we're only left with a smile at the end of 2019's The Joker. At the end, when he leaves the place with blood on him.
I'm
that cliffhanger.
cliffhanger.
Remember that cliffhanger? Let me tell you back. So
Sure.
at the end.
Sure, I can.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can get on. I guess I can get on board with that.
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
I remember how Joker was very consciously designed as a standalone movie. I mean, it's getting a sequel because it was a huge hit, but that was kind of the thing at the time. Was like, well, Joaquin Phoenix is only going to sign on for one, and so on and so forth. So totally cliffhanger, totally agree.
do you remember at the end where he's sort of like dancing around in the what do you call
Yes.
those places now? Mental institution? It's not, you can't call it that. What do you call it? Insane asylum?
Sure.
Bug House.
Bug house. Okay, when he's in the bug house, and at the end, we don't know if he's alive or not. There's blood everywhere. All right, it's feeling less climactic right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the cliffhanger.
At the end, you
Like,
don't know
we
what
don't know. We
happens.
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Does he escape? Does
Right.
he not escape?
No, and now the world is kind of in chaos too.
Yeah.
Like he's inspired a bunch of people.
Yes.
What's happening with the world? No, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm interested to know
More.
But to
Yeah.
Tim's point, I think this is one of those rare ones where I think they hadn't planned for a sequel, and now.
But it was so
are finishing
good
it.
that they have to.
Yeah, who's coming back? So, obviously, Joaquin's back. I can't remember the cast that just was announced for it as well too. I think it was
Lady
a big
Gaga is playing.
Lady
Harley
Gaga.
Quinn.
What is she
Yeah,
playing?
Harley Quinn.
She's playing Harley Quinn.
Holy moly. I can see that working, actually.
It's going to be a strange fucking movie.
Yeah,
I
because it's a
mean-
musical, right?
It's a musical.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
what?
Yeah,
Wait, so
That's
does Joaquin
right.
Phoenix know how to sing?
sure.
Sure.
I mean, he sang as the singer man, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, Lady Gaga knows how to sing. So she hopefully can carry the show. I'm kind of excited to see that now. When is that coming?
I don't even think it's in production yet. It's going to be a bit.
Okay. All right. Well, that I'm feeling good about. My number 4.
That was a good one. I did not think about it.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, on to you.
So my number 4, less of a cliffhanger, maybe more of a sequel hook, and it's a sequel hook that took a lot of years to pay off. And when it finally did, it wasn't really the sequel promised by the sequel hook, but it's clearly meant to be a like, bang, we gotcha, come back next time sort of moment. And it is my sort of on brand as a guy who does horror moment. And what is the most exciting thing that you think you could see if you're a horror fan in 1993
Oh, gosh.
and you love Jason and you love Freddy?
Oh, yes.
Two characters who exist in non-overlapping narrative universes. What would be the thing that would get you going? Well,
What would get you
it would be
going,
to see Freddy Krueger's knife-gloved hand pull Jason's hockey mask down into hell.
Oh my God.
And that is the final shot of Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, the frankly fucking horrible 1993 slasher film that I have seen 3 times now, that has a very, very good hook if you're a terrible, easily sold horror nerd about like, ooh, Freddy versus Jason. I would be in on that.
100%.
And
Yeah.
it took 9 years for that cliffhanger to pay off, but it did finally.
I don't know what you're saying. What do you mean for 9 years for it to pay off? Because like,
Freddy versus Jason came out in 2002.
They
Oh.
tease they cliffhang it.
so
of,
he's not in the whole movie. You
I think
just
in
see the
2003.
hand
No, I
at the
think it was
end.
2002.
You just see
Yeah,
that
no, it's-
you
yeah.
see that there's an opportunity for it's almost as if in the movie M. Night Shyamalan movie where you see Bruce Willis's character
Oh, Sixth Sense.
It's Split.
Split
Oh, yeah.
where you see Unbreakable Bruce Willis like, oh my gosh, what you shared universe, I didn't realize.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like I forgot about this, honestly, Tim. This is a good pick.
Was
Yeah.
the movie then that came out because of the people like you who watched this cliffhanger? Would you say that when the movie came out, whatever you said, years later, or did people race to see it because they were waiting after seeing the hand in this movie?
I mean, I think people would have raced to see it regardless of whether there was a hand in this movie, just because of the intrinsic appeal of Freddy fighting Jason. But it was a hit, yes.
So remind me, what movie is the cliffhanger in? Because I know Freddy versus Jason, but
It is in Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell. That is a bad one.
It is a bad one.
It's very
Yeah,
bad.
that's a bad one.
I'm kind of so. Who wins? Can you tell us who wins against Freddy and Jason?
No, because this is not spoiling Freddy versus Jason. This is
Okay.
spoiling Jason Goes to Hell. I'm not going to say
Okay.
what the cliffhanger ending of Freddy versus Jason is, though it does have a cliffhanger ending.
Where are
in a
you on
sense.
Freddy versus? Because I like it a lot. I think it knows what it is and it's having fun with it. But I don't know if you feel.
I
the same.
think I like bits of it. I think that the final sequence is far too much of an action movie and far too little of a slasher film.
Cool. It's something that you need to see.
I will.
Yes. I
This
think
Halloween,
You
we'll
will
binge it.
hate it so hard, Carrie.
Oh, you never know. I like slashers.
You never do.
I know, but I will still try. But you know what?
Okay.
I'm not going to hate it as much as Rob's number 4.
I think I'm going to surprise some folks.
You think so?
With this.
Is it a romantic comedy?
No, it's not a romantic comedy.
No.
That's like every romantic comedy is a cliffhanger. Happily Ever After is a cliffhanger.
Yeah, because we
In
know
a way.
that's not real.
Right.
Exactly.
I know maybe what you're talking about though. I'm going horror as well. I'm going a little bit older, and this is one where actually I should say that I'm going to spoil. I should say the title. Say I'm going to spoil it just in case. But this spoils both the Thing 1982 as well as the remake, in that it is very unclear and a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of the Thing. The entire group of folks that were in Antarctica, if that's where they are, Antarctica?
Somewhere cold.
Somewhere cold, is decimated by this creature that can replicate other humans and
I thought it was
or whatever it
dogs.
is. No, it can just
It's both.
It can do whatever
Oh,
any
okay.
living creature it can take the form of.
Okay.
In a very gruesome and practical way that is just still like I love it so much. This is John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982. But in the end, we think everything's done, and then 2 remain. 2 humans remain. One of them being Kurt Russell's McCready, and you're not so sure.
Do in fact 2 humans remain?
Right? Are there 2 humans remain? Is one of them maybe
A thing.
the Thing? You
Is
don't
there only
know.
one thing or many
Are they going to
things?
get saved? Are they going to get out of there? We don't know. Are they
Okay.
going to just freeze to death? Are they both and there's like this tension of paranoia between the 2 of them, which may make you think, well, if they're both paranoid and you're getting that sense from the director, then the director is insinuating that they're human because if you were the alien creature, but one could be paranoid that they think the alien knows that. I don't know. There's this whole thing, and it's just unresolved. You don't know how
There
they
is
get.
this whole thing.
You just don't
You
know.
just keep saying thing.
Yes, you just don't know what's going to happen next, and you're
And you
interested
care.
in knowing. And they've never made a true. I guess I guess the Thing. It's not
The
a
Thing
remake.
2011 is a prequel.
It's a prequel. That's right. So yeah, you don't really know what happens.
Nope.
Gosh, I forgot it's a prequel.
I take comfort in the thought that they both freeze to death, regardless of whether one of them is a thing or not, and then that takes care of the problem for the rest of us. But no, very open ended, very much trying to leave you trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Yeah, great ending.
But not on your list.
Insofar as I'm drawing a distinction between cliffhangers and pointedly open endings, I think this is an open ending.
Fair enough. I think as you went through your rubric, this falls a little closer on that side of things.
But
And
I do think it is certainly more of a cliffhanger than Joker and or Rogue.
What?
yes,
Hey, you're just coming at me. It's my anniversary today. You guys are
also
Rob's
my
anniversary too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right.
All right. Well, number 3. Are we going to have any overlap? Perhaps this is the one, Care.
I would say it's not, and I'm just again gonna look away from all of you and your judgment, but this is absolutely an open cliffhanger. An absolutely open cliffhanger. So
I hope it turns out to be a movie where the entire cast is dead at the end of the film.
that
Or
is
something
actually
like that.
that is actually what happens.
What?
I don't know how you always do this. I feel like you're like,
ahead.
I feel
What
like
do you got?
you've
What do you
hacked
got?
into my computer and you just always know. Okay. Rob hates this movie so much. And this movie, after seeing it, has stuck with me for years and years. It's shown up on a few lists over the time. Probably best love stories of all time. Probably best, his name's not Clive Owen. I've already forgotten his name. But this is the best. I like the character who's in it. I love everything about it. Best movie about food.
We know it's not Clive Owen.
The look on Rob's face is priceless right now.
I just don't know what you're saying. There's someone in it
who's
who
not
is not Clive Owen.
Yes.
Most movies have someone who is not Clive Owen.
You are going to know.
You're narrowing
this
it down.
I'm narrowing it down. What is it, Rob? About food. Everybody dies. and
Food and
not
everybody
Clive
dies.
Owen.
Not Clive Owen.
And you hate this movie.
The cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover.
It's close. It's close. This is a movie about the end of the world after a chef and a scientist fall in love, and an epidemic begins where everybody in the world
Oh, sure.
is losing their senses.
You're talking about Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Perfect sense.
In Perfect Senses.
I love
2011.
The lead in there, the female
The
lead.
gal.
In there.
I think her name is not Rose McGowan.
It's definitely not Rose McGowan.
Exactly. I can't think.
I love movies that don't have Rose McGowan and Clive Owen. I'd say most of my favorite movies have not both of those actors.
Not
I want to say Ava. Is it
Ava Green.
Okay,
It is
Yeah,
Ava
that's
Green. Thank
just
you.
Popped in my mind.
Does she look like Rose McGowan?
I mean, they have both big
They
round
both
eyes.
are women.
Yes, both women.
Darker hair.
Fair,
I guess.
fair. I thought I was on. I knew I was onto something. This movie absolutely has a cliffhanger ending.
Okay,
Okay?
Yeah,
So
it does.
I'll tell you what
it
happens.
very much does.
Longtime listeners have heard me love on this movie before. I'm going to do it again. This movie, essentially, they get this epidemic. Everybody starts to lose their senses one by one. Chaos is ensuing. But the ending of this movie is essentially the last sense to go with this virus or whatever it is that's going around. A little bit unclear. The last sense to go is sense of sight. And so people are sort of like figuring out how to navigate the world without smell and without touch and like with all of the things that happen with that. And you're like, what's going to happen?
It's a great primer for COVID.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So then the last one to go is vision, is sight. And so end scene is essentially like these two people who are madly in love with each other. Oh, I'm getting sad thinking about it. They're madly in love with each other. They're running to get to each other at the end. And before they're able to like get to each other, like just as they're about to like touch hands to like see each other again, cut to black. And they've lost their sight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
And so now, ever since seeing this movie, all I can think about is what has happened to the world? Does everybody die? Can you navigate the world with zero senses? Is it just like a bunch of worms crawling around? Like that's what I'm picturing. Are people just crawling around and bumping into each other and trying to scavenge for little bits of food on the ground? Is there food? I have so many questions on why, like on what would unravel in the world
I
if that
still
happened.
can't believe it's the same director, David Mackenzie, as Hell or High Water, which is one of my favorite movies. That is the same director. I see no similarities at all.
Both amazing movies.
Sure.
I'm just waiting for Carrie to pitch to some studio executive a movie in which for 2 hours we watch blind people who can neither taste nor touch nor smell writhing around like worms trying to find food.
I need to know. Perfect Senses 2, like what happened to not Rose McGowan? Like that's all I need in my life. I do want to know. I mean, truly, like all jokes aside, what would happen? Would we
You
all
would
die?
die.
We would all die.
Yeah, if you want to know what happens, watch the film Blindness. And then
Blindness. You told me this last
you
time.
get a sense of how society would devolve.
And everyone died in blindness.
And that's just blindness.
yeah.
Forget the other senses.
I think we could all make
Here's
it
my
work
thing.
if we were all blind.
If you cannot taste and you cannot touch, how do you know when you have acquired food?
Yeah.
I know. These are the questions. So, like what I'm picturing, honestly,
Do you just open your mouth and just kind of like wah, 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 as you're like rolling
Yeah, you
around
don't
the
even
ground,
know
how
what's going
food,
in your
like
mouth.
flops into it.
I'm just picturing. So here's what I'm picturing. Pretend my hand is the ground and my face is my face. I'm just kind of like scraping myself along.
No,
ground.
it doesn't.
But I don't
It
even
doesn't.
know. Am I on
no,
the ground?
it doesn't.
Am I floating?
No, it doesn't work at all. Like because you don't even know if you're eating.
I don't even know if I'm on the ground. Yeah.
No, you don't even know if you're actually eating anything
Yeah.
because you have
We're
no
all
sensations.
Dead. We're all
You're dead.
We're dead.
It's just what it is.
We
You're-
died.
You're dead.
Now I know what happens.
We've answered it.
Now it's not a cliffhanger. We all
so this
died.
was less of a cliffhanger, more of chucking something off of a cliff.
Yeah, that's fair. I still go though. It fits, and I want everybody to see this movie. This is Perfect Senses from 2011. I just think it will make you think about what's important in life, which is your senses.
They are. Cosign.
All right, that was my number 3. So
For my number 3, I think we might have some overlap.
Okay.
All right.
Fingers crossed. Ironically, this was specifically not written as a sequel hook. The authors of this ending, which is very much a cliffhanger ending, have said that if they knew they were getting a sequel, they would have written it differently. They did get a sequel. They had to adjust for this ending. and I'm going to say one sentence.
Okay.
I guess it's technically two sentences, and we'll see if either of you have this. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
No.
I have it, but I also don't have it, Tim.
Because you have another one?
Oh, I know what you have coming up on your list.
Yes. And we can roll them. We can roll them in together. This is my number 2, if you will.
So your number 2 is Back to the Future 2's ending. My number 3 is Back to the Future 1's ending.
Correct. And I mean, both for me work. I didn't know that after. I guess it makes more sense that they didn't know after the first what they had, how special it really was.
Yeah, they didn't know it was going to get a sequel. And I don't know if they would have not had the like going into the future part. They would not have put Jennifer on the car, is what they've said. Because then they had to figure out like what to do with her once she gets to the
Oh,
future.
and that's why they just make her.
She immediately gets like knocked out. Yes.
Right. So no, that's I mean, classic cliffhanger ending.
I don't remember either cliffhanger.
You don't remember either one?
All right, so start me off. Number 1. What's the cliffhanger at the end of 1?
Doc Brown, after Marty McFly has gotten back to the future, he's gotten from 1955 to 1985. Everything's good. His family's better. He fixed his family in the past, and now his family in the present's great. Everything seems to be going well. And then Doc Brown shows up in crazy-looking future clothes with a new version of the car. And he says that we have to go back into the further future. We have to go to 2015 now. Not to save your father, but to save your son, Marty McFly. And so they're about to head into the future. And Marty's like, but Doc Brown, we don't have enough road to get up to 88 miles an hour. And Doc Brown says, we don't need roads. And the DeLorean becomes a plane and it flies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually pretty good.
Yeah. And then Back to the Future 2.
Tell me yours. I'll tell you which one's better.
Is situation has been resolved with Biff, and everything's been set right.
Yep.
Doc Brown is now, they need to get back to their present, which is 1985. And Doc Brown is hovering over with the DeLorean.
Yep.
And lightning strikes the DeLorean. Doc Brown
Flies off,
disappears. Yeah. Now, Marty has no DeLorean and no Doc Brown, and is stuck now back in the 60s.
In 1955.
1955, thank you.
Okay, in the West, right?
No, not yet.
When's he in the West?
Just wait.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just call me roll.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, like, the camera hangs on a little longer, and things continue to happen. Like, out shines a light, a car with a light, and Marty's very nervous about what's approaching. And it's a
the train.
No train.
Oh, sorry.
It's a Western Union employee who hands him an envelope. And Marty opens up the envelope and he says, "There was a bet that you wouldn't be here. Blah blah blah. We've been holding on to this for, let's see, 70 years. I don't know, 80 years." And
70 years.
It's 70 years, and it's a note from Doc Brown from 70 years ago. Doc Brown is in the West.
Okay.
And cliffhanger. That's it.
I think the first one's better.
No, I mean,
well, no,
sure.
because Rob has forgotten an important detail, which is that Marty needs to find Doc Brown of 1955. Finds Doc Brown of 1955. Doc Brown passes out. Did he die of shock? In which case he created a paradox. And that's the cliffhanger. Is Marty standing over Doc Brown's prone body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still one wins,
Sure.
I think.
They really did write themselves into a nice kind of way of, because now I can't remember how Marty gets to 1865 or 1850, whatever. Does he take the DeLorean that he parked back in the original?
In 1885, Doc Brown puts the DeLorean in a cave.
Ah, got it. Okay. Interesting. I love when you write yourself into a situation, you have to creatively get yourself out. Like, it's fun.
Was there a cliffhanger in 3?
No.
Okay. I thought maybe they thought there'd be a 4.
They knew they were done.
They knew they were done. Okay.
3's rough.
Okay.
3's a rough one.
I think...
Oh, I like 3.
I like 3 second best.
I like 3 third best. But I do like 3.
We kind of had some overlap. I'm left with 2 picks left. I think we all have 2 remaining.
We'll have 2 more overlaps.
2 remaining.
And 2
Perfect.
more overlaps. One of mine will be on Tim's and one will be on yours, Rob.
All right, well, let's head to our break. But before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. Get early access and exclusive content, make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic, and more, just like Carl Beasley did from our Patreon site. Celebrating their anniversaries in September, we have Richard Page, who has the Emmy Award, Adam Strange, Robert Niven, Mike Garbo, who have a collection of Sundance Grand Jury prizes and Palme d'Ors, Andrew Johnson, Nathan Morrow, who have the Critics' Choice, John Taylor, who has a Critics' Choice as well, and Benjamin Ross Johnson, who is one of our Oscar Patreons. Thank you so much for supporting.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Also, love that merch link. We continue to get merch picks. I had a lot of people comment on the set. Love that IMDb Top 250 Cinephile shirt. So
I
if you're
bet.
interested in getting some of our merch, head on to the site. That site runs discounts all the time. But, you want to pay full price, we don't mind. Any reviews?
We prefer it, in fact.
We prefer.
So don't talk about sales.
Any reviews that you want to cover?
We probably do.
Oh, just haven't had a chance to catch up on them. Huh?
I would say my review is I love this podcast.
Yeah, leave a review on iTunes or Google, wherever you find your podcast. Also want to thank all of our listeners who support the show and making their purchases on our Amazon site. Doing is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com. Click on our Amazon banner and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. We had some beauty and grooming products, a little aloe vera sunburn relief gel.
Oh, man.
That is very soothing.
Yeah.
You get a little sunburn. It does feel nice. It's also, this is the one that doesn't have that sticky feeling.
Yeah, I don't like that. Here's the thing. I have an aloe plant, and I sometimes try to squeeze it on myself. It's not the same. It's
better or worse?
No, it's much worse.
Oh, okay.
You should buy aloe.
You should actually buy the product what it's designed for.
Exactly.
Versus just trying to
It's very sticky.
do the homeopathic
Exactly.
approach. Got it. Good lesson learned from Carrie here. We also had a brushless cooling fan, ball bearing computer case. I don't know what this is. 3D printer humidifier.
That seems like a lot of products.
You're just saying now.
I'm just saying
Now
that
just
they're all
spilling out of
just
your mouth
bunched
in no
together.
order.
I don't know what this thing is, but it's a 2-pack of it,
And you want it.
of a brushless cooling fan.
That's going to
that
be on
has-
the things I get you
yeah.
for your anniversary.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
We also had an ergonomic executive office chair, big and tall, much like the empty seat here. That's for Tim. When you get back, that we have that comfy executive chair.
I was like, hey guys, we should record in person. And you were like, no.
Just
We-
really don't want to see you.
That's not true at all. It's not true at all. What else?
We also had a Martha Stewart wrought iron, handmade Harmony Stripe wool runner rug.
I need one of those.
And then we had a Kindle ebook, something in a different language. I'm going to say French. Yes, the French edition, something about psychology. Toku pas tok. No idea. It's probably an idiom of some sort.
I think so.
And then another Kindle ebook, Rogue Protocol, The Murderbot Diaries. Love it.
Looks good.
Musical
Good book.
instruments.
That'll-
Had a cardioid mic for a desktop purchased. Also had Swords and Wizardry Complete Rulebook, 3rd edition. I believe that's like the cover is like of some sort of like medieval stuff on it. It is back to school season, so
That's true. That could be.
right around there. Speaking of back to school, have some Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray purchased.
Why is
Level
that back to
1.1.
school?
No, that's speaking of
kids.
back to school.
Just kids, you know.
Oh, kids.
Just
Kids.
Kids and adults.
It's an adult
Yeah,
about that.
everybody
for sure.
loves Dragon Ball Z stuff. By the way, I heard Dragon Ball Z was #1 at the Paltry box office like
Well,
a couple weeks
technically it
ago.
was Dragon Ball Super,
Oh, super.
which is a sequel to Dragon Ball Z, if I'm not mistaken.
So we were going to go to the theater maybe tonight because that's on things that I like to do, Tim. It's slim pickings out there. What should we see if we're seeing something? I'm still tempted by the
Well-
invitation, even though it got reamed by critics.
I mean, I will point out it's too late now for anyone to take advantage of it, but next year, I think it was a big hit, so it might be coming back. Yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago, based on when you're listening to this possibly, was National Cinema Day.
Yep.
Where across this great nation, theaters were charging $3 to see movies. That's how I saw Jaws on IMAX for $3.
Nice.
And Jaws on IMAX, good picture.
So maybe we go
I-
classic here.
Should we?
But should pay full price, I guess.
We could go see the Dragon Balls movie.
No, I'm not. I have no
I have-
context for it.
I
Unless it
could
like
not even-
establishes the origin story, I'm lost.
It is like hundreds of hours of Dragon Ball content lead up to Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, I can't do it then.
In 10 seconds or less, because I could not tell you for $1 million, what is Dragon Balls?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
There we go.
Was that less than 10 seconds?
It was less. I have no concept. I'm picturing Spike from My Little Pony flying around as a dragon.
It's like martial arts, lasers out of your hands, transforms into things, I think.
Cartoon?
Cartoon.
Okay. We're not watching
Yeah.
that, Rob.
No, we're not watching.
We're not watching.
Another thing I need explanation on is the 4K of Arrow Video Phenomena. I don't know what that is. Is that like a
Arrow
collection?
Video is a very good label. Phenomena is a Dario Argento film that was released by Arrow Video.
Got it. So not
I
the John.
tragically own the Synapse version.
Got
of
it.
Phenomena.
Got it. So not the Phenomenon with John
Robin
Travolta.
Williams. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Phenomena with Jennifer Connelly.
Got it. Okay. We also had the SNA Comedies collection of Charlie Chaplin on Blu-ray.
SNA.
SNA. Also,
someone following my Charlie Chaplin marathon.
Also, the three films of Buster Keaton, Sherlock Jr., The General, and Steamboat Bill Jr. Awesome collection.
My understanding is that I haven't seen any of them yet, but the restoration of Steamboat Bill is supposed to be phenomenal.
Oh, and someone's on a Buster
Good
Keaton
purchase.
kick because they also got the complete short films from 1917 to 1923 of Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
Also, silent film. This is right up your alley, Tim. Charlie Chaplin, The Mutual Films collection.
Limited edition
Blue Rock box.
Someone's for sure doing exactly the marathon that I'm doing.
And someone got either rented or purchased video on demand. I like this title. I'm interested in it. Scare Package. I've not heard of this film, but it sounds like a horror film. We're getting it. We're slowly edging our way into my favorite film season of the year, which is you get all your Oscar stuff, but then you get the horror right afterwards. So I'm excited. When we get back,
I've been stacking up on the Halloween series 4K so I can do the Halloween movies this fall.
Oh, nice. I'm still waiting. It was delayed. I think a lot of people jumped on it, is getting the 4K Predator. So it's been delayed a week. I was hoping it'd be here and just in time for anniversary. We could watch Predator.
I know you're always thinking about me.
The 4K Predator dudes. Borrow for me.
Let's stop by Tim's house. Let's see him after all. Now we have a reason.
That's right.
An excuse.
Tim, we're going to come celebrate our anniversary with you. That's one of
we are going to be in.
I was actually going to volunteer to crash at Merchant, so this works out.
That would kind of be fun.
Yes, that would be fun.
Yeah, we have nothing to talk about after 12 years.
No, we're completely tapped out. That's for sure.
One thing we're not tapped out is our remaining 2 picks. See, that's a segue, Carrie.
What are they going to be?
Yeah, what are they going to be?
Cut to black.
And welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about a remaining top 5 cliffhanger. Sorry to leave you on the edge
of your seat there.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah.
This is kind of a tense show.
It is. It's tense. Care, what do you have remaining with your number 2?
Oh, boy. This is the one that I think has a possibility of being on Tim's list because he has some taste over here. I do love this movie. And I would say that this movie for me was a realization because I think I saw it late. I think this movie was a realization for me that relationship movie tropes are always accurate, I would say. Would you guys agree with that statement?
Well, a trope.
No.
Well, are always accurate?
Are usually
a trope
accurate.
is based on, I know, sure, are always accurate. I don't know about
there.
always.
I'll get there.
The always
Are
is
usually
They have the
accurate.
capacity for being accurate.
They're being accurate. So I would say this movie is accurately representing what it is like to be married for 12 years, I would say.
Okay.
And I like the realness of it. I don't think people are honest enough about how challenging just maintaining a healthy relationship is. And what I love about this movie is that I think it's very honest and raw. And I remember thinking, Rob and I had this whole conversation. I'm obviously pretty conflict averse, but I had this whole conversation about how watching other people in tense situations is really hard for me to do. But in this movie, I think both of us were nodding our heads. This just feels very the realest, rawest representation of relationships. And it does leave you on a cliffhanger of what's going to happen with their relationship. This is 2013's Before Midnight.
Okay. I was unclear if you were going this direction, but that's good. Yeah.
I gathered pretty early on in her little marathon there that's what she was saying. Yeah.
Hey, I tried to set the stage here. I'm trying to tie it back to the fact that it is our anniversary. I think Rob and I are at exactly this life stage that they are.
They are not married, and it's only been 9 years.
Oh,
but otherwise, you were right.
I thought they were married. They're
no. The whole point is that they're not,
and they have to decide whether.
That's
to
why
stay
they're
together.
That's why they're still happy.
Yes. No, they're not. But that's what happens at the end. They're struggling, and then they're trying to figure out, do we stay or do we go? Do we continue this? But it's layered in with the complexity of kids because they've got 2 kids now, right?
They do. That's correct.
Like us.
That's very correct.
Yeah.
I find this an interesting choice because the film that I did not want to say as my example of what I wasn't picking was Before Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Before Sunrise and Before Midnight are both open-ended. Before Sunset is the one where I had a really, really hard time deciding if I thought it was a cliffhanger.
Which one?
And
What happens in that one?
I decided it was not.
What happens in that one? That one is Does
Baby,
she?
you are going to miss that plane.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's so good. It's so good.
It is good.
Could not decide if it was a cliffhanger. But I mean, all three of these movies have phenomenal endings.
Yeah,
Phenomenal. And makes me very anxious to see what's going on. And it is a heartbreak to me that after having given me so much joy, Richard Linklater and Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke decided to be big shitheads and not make
I know.
another Before movie.
Oh,
Because it would be this year.
This is
It's
official.
the year. It's
Okay.
2022.
And it's not under some code name, possibly? Like maybe they're going to surprise us?
Allegedly, they were talking about it. Julie Delpy didn't like the idea they were working with, and then the pandemic just kind of killed off their momentum entirely. So,
No.
But I do need to find out. You don't know if they're by the time this movie concludes, they've gone on the rise and fall of like pretty extreme arguments, and then
Exactly.
like, ooh, it feels like maybe they shouldn't be together. But like again, every couple goes through these. Like, I know you don't argue with your partner because whatever, but
to an eerie degree, we're both men. So it's not that every couple argues. Every woman nags her guy. Am I right, Rob? High five.
no. Am I if you're
Hey.
hey, am I a nag? Let's be honest here. I'm talking to you, Rob. Would you say I'm a nag?
No, you're not naggy.
No, I'm not naggy.
Carrie's not naggy.
I think if I'm thinking about it, I can't think of any really material flaws. I don't know if you can.
Absent-mindedness.
Okay.
Yeah, communication.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's about
Mild
it.
things.
Mild things.
Yeah.
But to that end, everyone has these ebbs and flows. And then it like, if you do have one of those arguments, you know what the other side of it looks like, where it's that like, this is awkward. Like that, maybe that escalated a little too much or whatever. And you feel that in this movie. So, but then they leave you on the calm after the argument of like the rational side of them of like, no, but really, should we stay or should we go? And I do need to know. I need to know.
I need to know too. And since we're not going to find out in 2022, hopefully we'll find out in 2031 when Celine is at Jesse's bedside as he's dying of cancer or something.
Oh gosh, that'd be so good, man.
It would be so good.
Yeah, so good. So that's my number 2. I
That's
thought
a good
it
If you're listening, Richard Linklater, Julie Delpy, and Ethan Hawke, get your fucking shit together.
We need you.
Make me a fourth Before movie.
Same.
You giant assholes.
I thought it was going to be on your list for sure, Tim, but alas, it is not. Which means
Sunset came real close.
came close. My
I
number
couldn't
1.
pull the trigger.
You're heading in the right direction, Care, of cliffhangers.
Thanks.
Your picks have improved as they should as we go up the chart.
Everyone is closer to being a cliffhanger than the one before.
Number 1 matches number Rob's. If we're meant to be, I'm going to hang everything on. If you and I should stick this out, our number 1s will match, Rob. Okay?
I mean, it should. To me, but I'm not there yet.
We'll find out.
I'm not there yet.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if my number 2 matches anyone else. It's the other one I thought might. It's kind of the OG of movie cliffhangers. So again, cliffhangers, they go way back. They start in serial storytelling. They start in like these, 10-minute one-reelers that would air before the show during a matinee. Because, Hopalong Cassidy or whatever would be hanging off the edge of a cliff, and how will Hopalong get back? Come back next week to find out. And then it turns out he just crawls up the cliff. They were always super, super boring. But the feature film cliffhanger is kind of necessarily a phenomenon of we know for a fact we're getting another one. Otherwise, you end up with things like Green Lantern, where like they tease out an ending and then it just goes to shit. So in order to have a cliffhanger ending, you need to know there's a built-in audience. For example, you might be making a sequel to the highest grossing film in the history of money. Made amount of money that no one, it was like, that's not even a real amount of money. Movies don't make that kind of money. So they immediately make a second one, not immediately. 3 years later, they make a second one. They know there's a built-in interest for the third one. So they spend the second one setting up the third one. And here's what they've set up. Han Solo is in carbonite.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Skywalker's hand has been cut off. Darth Vader is Luke's dad, or is he? Are they going to find Han Solo? What are they going to do next? And these are the questions lingering at the end of 1980's The Empire Strikes Back.
My number 3.
Is it?
Nicely done, Tim. 2
Wait.
overlaps.
Did I skip one?
No, Tim did Back to the Future.
Oh,
so
okay.
That was my number 2.
Okay.
And so we
I
have
messed that up.
commonality here.
So,
we like
so
the
you and I
classics.
swapped our number 2 and 3, essentially.
Yes,
Rob.
essentially. Yeah.
You have the exact same one. Did you just say you have the same
Empire
movie?
Strikes Back. For
Okay.
this one, we have the exact. I mean, there aren't cliffhangers is
In the
really
other
in the
ones.
other
Okay.
others. But no, I mean, so many things. And Tim's right. Like this is the first time I've ever seen like someone thought through an entire arc. So it's every individual story has an arc, but then the whole trilogy was one big arc. And this is like at the end of the second arc, or the second part of a film, the second act, if you will. Like it's left on this kind of cliffhanger note of like, how will this all resolve? It's like the characters are at their lowest point.
Yeah. And it creates a template that gets followed over and over again, where the first film kind of stands alone. The second and third form a sort of 2-pack. You've got the Back to the Futures, you've got the Matrixes. Like it happens. Like this is sort of the way that these kinds of films start getting packaged, is like, we now know that because the first one was a hit, the second one can end in a cliffhanger because we know we have an audience now.
Yep. Yeah. Classic.
Okay.
Not for you.
I mean, I felt like I knew.
You've just found out, Luke, I am your father.
Yeah,
or
but that's
is
what
he?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But or is he? He explicitly says, "Luke, I am your
Could
father."
be lying.
Why would
But
he?
his
So why
hand
would he
has
lie?
been cut off. Han is
Yeah, but
done for.
Yoda out there is like, don't worry, if Luke fucks up, there's another. Who's the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the other?
Yeah.
But who is the other?
We don't know.
We don't know. But we do find out. So who was that?
It would end up being Leia.
Leia, his sister. Sure.
Which he can reach.
So we don't know that yet either.
We don't know
And
that.
clearly
no.
George Lucas didn't know it in 1980 either, because he has Luke and Leia tongue kiss, and he wouldn't have done that because it's super gross.
Ooh,
Hot.
God,
I mean, gross.
gross. Gosh. Glad
Well,
you're only
now
a child.
all I'm left with is my number one. And
too.
wait, everybody, right? Everybody's got their numbers.
We got
I'll go-
ones across.
I'll go
Should we
first.
just,
Well, don't go
should we
first.
go to Carrie's number one?
You got to go to me.
Okay,
'cause
I'll let Carrie go
I have
first.
to
You want to
find
see
out
if this marriage is meant to last?
I'll tell you what. If we don't match, what's the outcome? We're
This
not
is
going to
my-
leave people on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'll just say this is for sure my favorite cliffhanger because I talk about it all the time.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I talk
Oh.
about this ending all the time.
I don't know but this could
On
go
our
with,
show.
I mean,
okay.
I just talk about it a lot.
Now I'm nervous that we don't match, number one. Number two, it does play, though, into if we do match, it plays into that listening thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say,
Unless I've forgotten something.
you've forgotten something
Okay.
if this is a match. Okay, I'm going to go into my number one. I'm sorry if I don't hear you, but I'm going to start at year 12 listening a little bit better. This one, it ends. I have no idea what happened actually in this entire movie. I was
Okay.
very confused.
So far, we're on the right track. But
We are.
you're also describing almost every movie.
That's also
But yes.
fair. This was particularly confusing.
Okay. On the
Lots
right
of
track.
layers, lots of layers, but it does have one of my top 5 people in all time that I would leave you for. Still on the same track? Would I leave you for
again,
somebody in
it's
this
a big
movie?
list.
Big list. Okay, not narrowing. This one, though, ends in a particular way. I didn't know what was happening the entire movie, but then,
I know what one you're talking about, Carrie, and I strenuously disagree. This is a cliffhanger, but go ahead.
oh no, you don't know. You don't know. This is for sure. This is the only one that I'm sure is a cliffhanger of all of these. Movie ends. I'm like, what just happened? But then the movie ends. Rob knows what happened in the movie, apparently. But then the ending comes, and I'm still confused. And Rob's like, mind blown.
Would you say there's a lot of layers to this movie?
Lots of layers and folding,
Okay.
and movement.
Okay, we can
All right,
stay married.
Here's my last clue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now Tim's there.
Okay.
If Tim
Oh,
wasn't
I've been
already.
there. I knew she was talking about Inception.
And you're not, and you don't think
That
it's
is
a cliffhanger?
100% not a cliffhanger.
They spin the top. At
We
the
are
end.
extremely. That is the definition of an ambiguous ending to me.
Oh, I see what you're
No,
saying.
it's not. It's a cliff.
Okay,
Oh.
if you're saying
Yeah.
that there's a difference, then yes.
The
Yes.
cliffhanger-
It is definitely
ambiguous.
an
It
ambiguous
is
ending.
crucial to the project of Inception that we never learn whether that top falls.
I'm still waiting for Inception too.
When Rob and I saw it, I was like, "Oh, it teetered. It teetered." We like played it back and forth a bunch of times. He's like,
it
"It
wobbles.
teeters. It wobbles
without falling. It wobbles without falling. That's how you know he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, but if it's wobbling,
Fair enough. So this is more broken flowers to you than.
To me, this is a more broken flowers.
Got it.
Was
I'm
this
with
your
you.
number one?
It's my number one, just because I just
Oh.
love this ending. But yeah, I see
we
Tim's.
got
I
another
see
12
Tim's,
years. I see that point.
I see Tim's point that it's ambiguous. It's not a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you guys. It's your guys' pick, though. I don't want to.
No, 'cause it's- I guess
even though I have shit on it,
It's
I don't want shit more on it.
It's intention, right? Like it is not meant to be resolved. I guess you could say the same thing about The Thing, though, where it's an ambiguous ending. Like director's intent maybe plays into it, where they're not trying to get you, like, or they don't want to explain it. They want it to end right there.
Exactly.
So I would put the
They
Thing
want you
there.
to be unclear what happened.
Yeah, I would put the Thing on that. I would put Inception there too. But I do love that.
I know.
It's such a beautiful end to a film to not know. And do we? And I love the philosophy of, does it matter?
It matters to me.
It matters to you because I know we've talked about the Matrix and like to me, would I be all right in the Matrix? Like, I don't like if I didn't know any better. What harm is it? I guess I don't know. There are debates.
Yeah,
on this.
there are debates, but I also would like to say, just to close the loop on this one, the top does fall. Just so you know, the little spinner guy, it does fall.
Oh, because you want to. I think there's a stronger case to be made.
You're not going to unteeter.
That it stays.
No, you're not going to unteeter. If I've played tops,
it does unteeter. It unteeters on camera.
That doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks like it wobbles, and it's like, nope, back to spinning again.
Up, shoot.
I think Michael Caine has been on record, and I think we have talked about this on the episode. But make your own ending, because Michael Caine didn't know what the hell this script was. He didn't understand it at all. So all he needed to know was Christopher Nolan told him, apparently, this is in an interview, that any scene, Michael Caine, that you are in
is reality.
And Michael Caine is in that ending scene.
Okay.
So for what that's worth.
Hot take here.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I mean, Michael Caine was in Jaws: The Revenge, so Michael Caine doesn't know shit.
He could be full of shit for all we know. That Michael Caine.
Oh, well, happy anniversary.
It does make me sleep better knowing that he gets to see his kids again. So
same.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Same.
But I also love does it matter? Like, I guess it doesn't matter.
He gets to see his kids again, whether they're his real kids or his dream kids. He is seeing his kids.
Yeah, he's happy. Who cares? Ignorance
happy.
is bliss, right? Like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I don't know.
Let him live the lie.
All right. Well, I'm glad we matched,
yes.
And I'm glad that you appreciate me more because I'm listening to you.
Now I just want to. I almost said the L word. Ew.
I love you.
I almost said it.
Oh,
I do.
weird.
I love you too.
Oh,
you didn't say it. But
Oh,
happy anniversary.
People are so fucking gross.
But I'm
speaking
more,
of Michael Caine.
I know. I'm more interested to know what is Tim's number one that I somehow have not seen
of Michael Caine. This is cheating a little bit, especially given that I just said to you guys, well, the Inception, we're not supposed to know how it ends. There was never an intent, as far as I'm aware, to make a sequel to this movie. Actually, maybe there was an intent after it became a hit. I don't know. It was written not to hook into a sequel. It was written as a cheeky gag. They were like, how would it be fun to end this movie? It'd be fun to end this movie with our entire cast literally hanging over the edge of a cliff, which is the end of 1969's The Italian Job.
Oh.
It is a movie in which Michael Caine has led a heist. They've got a whole bunch of gold. They get their gold in a van. They're driving their van along a precarious road in, I believe, the Swiss Alps, and they swerve or some such thing. And the van jerks like jackknifes over the edge of the cliff. All the gold falls out. The people in the van, all of the people in the heist, try to grab for the gold. They start sliding out. The van is very precariously balanced on the edge of a cliff. It's one of those like cartoons where like if you move too far to the left, it goes this way. And if you move too far to the right, it goes that way. Everyone is stuck in this van. Michael Caine, who has throughout the entire movie been improvising and just pulling shit out of his ass and coming up with all of these clever solutions to the problems facing them, basically says, okay, you guys, I have an idea. Credit scroll. That's how the movie ends.
That's fun.
It's charming.
Has he been saying, I have an idea the whole, like every time they're in a pickle?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
That's good. That's fun.
It's again, and it was not meant to have a resolution. We are frankly not meant to give a shit whether they got the gold back. It's just like, it's cheeky. The movie is cheeky. Michael Caine is cheeky. That's his whole thing. And it's just it's the quintessential, like, they're literally hanging on a cliff. How could it not be my number one cliffhanger?
Double entendre.
Because it's both unresolved and it's a cliff.
I like it.
And that is why it's my number one.
That's cute.
Did
Good.
they remake The Italian Job?
They did.
They did. I think it might actually have the same ending as well. I haven't seen the remake.
Okay.
No, it does not end the same way.
Oh,
I mean, I don't
well,
believe
there
they
you
end on they all go their separate ways, I think, with a cut of the loot. But there is the sequel to the remake, the bank job.
No, The Italian Job with Mark Wahlberg.
No, but didn't they make a sequel?
The Bank Job is a movie, but it's not a remake of the Italian Job.
Oh, okay. No, I know it's not a remake. I thought maybe they took Jason Statham's character and spun off. It's a spin-off of some sort. But maybe
to my knowledge, they are totally unrelated.
Okay, then never mind. Well, that's it for us, but we always go to our audience. We ask you to submit your picks for the top 5. Based on the submissions, here are the top 5. Let's see how well the overlap is. I think we'll be pleasantly surprised. At number 5, the top spins with Inception.
Yes.
Not the only ones who got ambiguous endings and cliffhangers mixed up together. Number 4, I might have had it. I was going to revisit Casino Royale. I don't recall the ending well enough to remember if it's a cliffhanger or not.
I think we read it as a cliffhanger because Quantum of Solace picks up right after it ended. But to me, Casino Royale to me ends, and then Quantum of Solace retroactively makes it a continuation.
Got it. At number 3, Tim, 1960, as you said, 69, The Italian Job.
Right.
On the list.
3.
Number 2, The Thing.
Oh, man.
Number
Nice.
1, The Empire Strikes Back.
Well, I had 1.
You got 1 on that
All
list.
right.
Karen, not too bad.
I feel good.
Our winner this week is Gavin, who said, I really want to add Picnic at Hanging Rock, least of all because of the title, but I just used it and it's not really in the spirit of the subject. MC Stefan used up all the good ones. I'm lived with fairly recent films people have heard of. Evangelion 2.0, A Quiet Place, Mortal Kombat, Casino Royale, and The Raid 2 were Gavin's picks for top 5 cliffhangers. Gavin, shoot us
Well, now I want to go see what MC's picks were.
All right. Yes. I love that. It's a kind of a one-upsmanship on the site sometimes too. Is like people don't feel comfortable. Like they want to have the original idea first. So even if they were on your list, like sometimes on the site, folks kind of just wanna put something fresh down.
I feel that.
Gavin, shoot us an email at contact@alternateending.com for details on how to claim your free Amazon movie rental. If you want to win a free Amazon movie rental like Gavin, be on the lookout for our top 5 posts. In closing, just want to thank everybody for listening. Head out to our Facebook page and like it. Twitter, where we're tweeting all the time. Instagram, where we're Instagramming. AlternateEnding.com will find all our movie reviews, podcasts, and more. YouTube and Facebook for all of our videos. And subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google. And don't forget about Patreon. Next week, we'll be doing a Pass the Popcorn with a couple of Patreon picks. Maybe we'll be coming back talking about the movie we watched tonight. I'm assuming it will be a film of some sort.
We'll see.
Maybe The Invitation.
Most movies are.
Most movies are. Yes. Probably will end up being TV shows. There's so much TV. Hey, Tim, really quick before we head out, how are you digging? Because I don't know if you've shared your experience with the Rings of Power. How's the Amazon Lord of the Rings prequel going?
I have not pulled the trigger on it yet. I'm going to go on a teeny tiny rant.
Yeah.
Amazon gives me screeners of literally every single piece of new content they ever release. They did not give me a screener of Rings of Power. I was like, well, fuck you, Amazon.
Oh, wow.
So I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to.
Yeah. You know what it was? I think they were also, they also limited people providing reviews for like
I'm
72
sure
hours.
Well, no, they're limiting normal people from providing
Normies.
reviews, but I'm not normal. I'm a tomato meter critic. They should
true.
should want me to review their thing.
Yeah, they were worried they'd get just people in there trolling and just knock it down.
Liked him.
Liked him.
Like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Exactly like
Yeah.
me. No, I haven't watched it yet. Planning on it. Haven't yet decided if I'm going to review it episode by episode for the site or if I'm just going to do the whole season in one review. But there will be Power review.
Very nice. We'll be on the lookout for that, folks, and we'll catch you next time.